Hey, my lovely people. So thank you for tuning back in. Last time we talked about saving and budgeting. Now we're going to get into the fun stuff. We're going to get into what everybody likes to do. Everybody except for the younger generation. And I can't even believe I'm saying that because I'm young myself. But the most fun thing that most people like to do is invest. Isn't that fun? I'm not talking about gambling. I'm not talking about going on FanDuel. I'm not talking about going to the casino. I'm not talking about your new latest crypto fab. I'm talking about stuff that's been around for over 120 years. I'm talking about companies. I'm talking about businesses that have been thriving for as long as I've been alive. I'm talking about companies that have made it through thick and thin, any recession, bulletproof companies. I'm talking about your Delta. I'm talking about your American Airlines. I'm talking about your Chase Banks. I'm talking about your Apples. I'm talking about your Google, Amazon. I'm not even going to talk about new companies today. I'm not even going to talk about those big FANG stocks that are just coming out of nowhere. I'm not even going to talk. I'm talking about Facebooks. I'm talking about all of those companies that's been around forever. Your Disneys, even though they're going through a bad time and I had to sell mine off. Okay? Listen, not everybody has the time to go ahead and pick out stocks like the ones that I was just talking about. Not everybody has the time for that. You see, they've been budgeting now after watching my last video. They've been saving now after watching my last video. Now they have a question for me. They're like, Festus, you're investing for the future, but what are you investing in? Like, I'm saving all this money, but what do I do from here? Well, that's a great question. That's a great question, and I have a great answer. You see, I'm not going to tell you to invest in individual companies, whether you believe in them or not, especially if you're not going to take the time to continue to watch, take the time to continue to learn. What I found out is that most people do not care about investing. All they want to know is where to put the money, and they believe you enough, they'll put it there. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you two ETFs to invest in. They're basically the same ETFs. But guess what? Over a period of time, you're going to average about 7 to 12% a year. They're going to have 3 bad years and they're going to have 7 good years. But if you keep on investing, you're going to come out with more money than you've ever had in your life. Okay? And so, to start you off, it's going to be S&P 500, which is going to have the top 500 companies. The reason why I like the S&P 500 ETF is because let's say you have the top 500 companies. Really, about 5 of those companies, which is Facebook, Google, Amazon, Tesla, Netflix, those are the companies that are really holding up that entire stock. Those couple of companies is what is shooting that company to the moon and back. That is really why that company is able to make 8, 9, 10% returns every single year. Because all those companies that are failing in those 500 companies, all that money that is being sold off is just going to be put into the better companies, and the S&P 500 already has those companies. So imagine selling individual stocks and then putting it into a company that is already in the S&P 500 because of so many companies. If you have 500 companies, of course, you're going to reap the benefits. Imagine owning every stock, right? Just think about it this way. Imagine you own every single stock in the stock market. There's going to be a whole bunch of companies that fail. They just outright fail. They don't exist anymore. All that money that was sold in order for the company to fail from other investors, they're going to put that into another company that you own because, again, you own every company, right? So now you're like, how do I make money? Well, you make money when somebody goes to work and they put their money on top of your money. Not only that, but there's also going to be dividend paying companies that they're going to give you a dividend just for owning their company. What is a dividend? A dividend is when a company pays you and essentially says, thank you for believing in them. Thank you for buying into them. Right? So you get those every 3 months for most companies, and some companies will give you it every month. So imagine what you can do with extra cash every single month that is being redeployed into those same stocks. So if you owned every single company, you literally could not lose money because you're going to make money every time somebody goes to work and puts more on top of yours. And even if they sell, they're just going to put it into another investment that you already have. That is what the S&P 500 is. They have the top 500 companies. And so when somebody sells something in the 500, they're just going to put it back in that same 500. And so you're going to make so much money. And that's going to be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12% returns. And so the S&P 500 is literally the stock market. People believe that it mirrors the stock market because as that goes down, the stock market is down. As it goes up, the stock market is up. People invest in the stock market because they make money. That's where your 401ks are. That's where your Roth IRAs are, right? If businesses believe that you can retire off of this stuff, why not invest in it yourself and just do a better job? All you got to do is invest in the S&P 500. If you don't do anything else, that's all you need to do. Same thing that you can do is VOO. It's the same exact thing. It's just with Vanguard. Now, I'm not sure VOO has less expenses, but it typically does just a smidge better than the S&P 500, and you literally have the same companies. And so for those who are not serious about diving into a whole bunch of different stocks, diving into a whole bunch of different investments, learning everything about a business, all you got to do is buy those two things. Keep investing $100 a month, $200 a month, $1,000 a month, and eventually you're just going to see growth, 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 growth. And your dividends is going to keep investing, keep investing, keep investing, keep investing. And eventually you're just going to have exponential growth. That's all you really need to do. Now, again, I'm just an average guy on YouTube. So as a disclaimer, I'm not telling you what to invest in. I'm just telling you what works for me. And I actually invest in the S&P 500. I also invest in VOO. It doesn't make sense to have both because, they both do the same thing. But I just like having it, so I have it. And I also invest in 29 companies. 29 companies. Why? I love dividends. And about 26 of them are dividend paying companies. That's just me. I want to see cash every single month. I want to see that I'm making money almost every single day. Today I woke up, I made about $11 in dividends today, right? Before I woke up, before I went to work, before I did anything, before I brushed my teeth, $11 hit my bank account. So, that's just what I like to see. That's just the little joys that I get from being a dividend stock and growth investor. So if you ever want to go the dividend route, I also have to make this disclaimer. Look for high growth, low dividend paying companies. High growth, low dividend. I know a lot of you are going to look for the highest dividend. That's a rookie mistake. And that means you're not paying attention to what I'm preaching and teaching. Because the growth is always going to be better than the dividend itself. And if it has high growth and a low dividend, it's probably a good company. That's why they're not paying you so much out of pocket. And you don't want a company with high dividend and it's negative every single year, or it's only growing by 5% every single year, right? That makes no sense. So if you ever do decide to go to the dividend route, better go ahead and watch a couple of my previous videos so we can teach you a thing or two about how to invest in the right dividend companies. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You know I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily on YouTube and on Rumble, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.